What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to get that heavy rock metal bass tone that we pretty much all go for with rock, hardcore, metal, metalcore, everything in between. We all want that fat, big, heavy, grindy, aggressive mid-range sound in our bass tone. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to achieve it here, and 2 of the plugins are free, and the third one is from Neural DSP. But you'll see how to do this completely in the box using just a standard bass DI track. So let's dive into the session. I'm going to show you these 3 different plugins and ways to achieve that metal bass tone. All right, so here we are in the session. Let me just play the song as it is here in the final mix. So there's the bass tone I ended up with in this mix. Kind of, again, standard, the kind of bass tone you'd be going for with a heavy song like this. So we got a DI track and a SansAmp. This is what we recorded. So here's the DI. This is a SansAmp pedal on the way in. And then we've got this dirt track, which is just a duplicated version of the DI made really dirty. I'm going to save that. I'm going to show you that after. So let me show you how we can achieve this, a similar bass tone to this, using just these 3 different plugins I'm going to show you. Again, 2 of which are free. So let's kind of start from scratch here. I'm going to duplicate this DI track. Mute the original one that we had here. Let me just make that inactive. So here's just the raw bass TI. It is going into my bass processing chain, so I've got the sub end of the bass and the mid-range of the bass kind of processed differently, but it's just some compression and boosting some low end and boosting some mid-range around 1K. So here's the DI. So here's what I would typically do. First, I would try to get a kind of clean-ish but more aggressive bass tone, and the SansAmp tone is really the defining character of so many rock and heavy records. It's what I've used for years, whether it's a plugin version, a rack version, pedal version, doesn't matter. The SansAmp just gives you that sound. So the first plugin I'm going to show you is the free one, and this is the TSE BOD Bass Overdrive. So let's check this out. So let's see if we can get this similar to the SansAmp pedal that we recorded. Not bad. So there's the BOD plugin. Again, free plugin. Pretty amazing that they give that away for free. Now, I would start with that, so it's not really that distorted. Maybe even go a bit cleaner. But it's already kind of giving us that tonal shape and then kind of that character, more aggression to the bass DI track. So next what I would do is try to make it a little dirtier, but do it in parallel. So let's just duplicate this DI track again. So again, we're just listening to these 2 tracks here. Let's just solo the second one that we just created. And I'm going to use another SansAmp emulation, but this time it's going to be another free plugin. If you are a Pro Tools user, it's the SansAmp PSA-1. Been using this literally for 15 years on so many records. Lots of records that probably you would recognize the bands that literally have just recorded a DI and used this plugin, and that is the bass tone. I have it set to automatically load up their SVT preset here. Sounds great right off the bat. So right there is pretty much that kind of clean-ish SansAmp tone that I just created with the BOD. But let's try to blend a dirtier tone with that DI. So let's crank this up. Now let's see how this sounds with the cleaner track. So here's the BOD, and then I'm going to bring in the dirtier SansAmp. So there we go. Pretty awesome sounding heavy bass tone just from 2 free plugins. At least if you use Pro Tools, the PSA is free for you. But if not, you can check out this BOD and basically do the same thing. Just duplicate it, use the BOD, make it a lot dirtier. I find that it doesn't crunch up quite the same way as this Pro Tools one. But you could definitely just follow that up with a little EQ here. And take out some of that honkiness. Maybe cut some low end. Blend that in with the cleaner sound. So achieving kind of the same thing there with the BOD, just on both tracks. I like the PSA one. A little more for the dirty tone. Maybe not quite so bright. Cool, so that's how to do this with free plugins. Now, I did say there was a third plugin I'm going to show you, and that is the Neural DSP Dark Glass plugin. So let me load that up. Again, here's the BOD. Let me load that Dark Glass plugin here on the bass DI track. So here's the Dark Glass. Let's go through some presets. So this is starting to sound, again, pretty similar to that SansAmp tone. So this would be kind of like the cleaner version. Then you could drive it up here. See, that's blending between the DI and the dirty track, whereas I like to blend between a cleaner SansAmp and a dirtier SansAmp or a dirtier Dark Glass. So I definitely like this plugin too. So that could be our kind of cleaner SansAmp tone, blend that with the dirtier tone with the PSA. So a few different options there. I just demonstrated the BOD plugin from TSE, totally free. I'll link below. You can go and grab that. If you use Pro Tools, that SansAmp PSA1 plugin is brilliant. I've used it so much. I pretty much am just as happy to use that plugin as I am like a hardware, like the actual SansAmp plugin or rack unit. Use it on tons of records. By the way, if you want to see how I would track on the way in using that plugin versus the SansAmp pedal version, I'll link up another video on how to get a heavy bass tone in just 5 minutes. I'll link that up here. You'll see it pop up on the screen. But otherwise, go and grab that free plugin, experiment with this in your DAW. Comment below. Let me know out of these 3 plugins, these 3 tones that I showed you, which one do you like the best and which one do you use in your mixes already, or which one are you excited to try now? Let me know in the comments, and hope this helps you get a heavier, kind of more classic, authentic, gritty, aggressive, grindy, fat bass tone. I can't really think of any other words that we would describe it with. But subscribe if you want more of this stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.